week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick.
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning champions Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, Oleksandr, Usyk. And these guys were face-to-face, as you guys know, and both of them attended the Vasyl Lomachenko versus Richard Commey fight last night. And this video is to explain and to show how perception works and the truth of what people think versus what's really real, okay? We have two fighters, as you guys can see, congratulated each other, on victory. They had a powwow. Now, we only know what they said together because they were close in proximity, face-to-face. And this perception that Tyson Fury is so much taller and bigger than Oleksandr Usyk, it just baffles me. As you can see, Usyk is looking this man eye to eye with those crazy eyes that he has. And you can see Tyson Fury's doing this up and down thing. Okay, as he's looking and watching Tyson Fury, he even gets on his tiptoes to show like, okay, I mean, I don't know what that's about if you're already taller. Maybe he's saying, well, hey, you know what? Maybe you're taller than I thought you were. I was looking at you like this little bitty, itty bitty, tiny cruiserweight that went up and upset an overhyped bodybuilder. And we know that's not the case. As you can see, Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury are not that difference in height. This doesn't look like a guy from another weight class fighting a guy that's smaller than him coming from the current weight class. It doesn't look like that at all. It looks like two guys that may fight eventually, may be next, may not be next, but eventually will get it onto the ring and show who's really the best of this era. Okay? And a lot of people say, oh man, you just love Usyk. No, listen, I like both fighters, but I know what perception is, and I know what people try to feed you. And people just think of something one way, and then they really don't understand, like, hey, this isn't that way. Okay, Oleksandr Usyk is not this small guy. As I was explaining to people in my live stream just maybe an hour ago, I was explaining the difference between what height can do. It can have its benefits, but sometimes it don't mean anything. Primo Carnero was 6'7". Okay, he was a Klitschko height fellow. He was destroyed by Max Baer and Joe Louis. Okay, and Joe Louis was 6'3", all of the same height. I don't know about weight, but definitely height is Oleksandr Usyk. But it didn't matter once those fists start flying, okay? None of that mattered. And just don't take my word for it. Look at what people had to say. There isn't much of a height difference. I got Usyk winning this fight. He isn't as small as people portray him to be, and Tyson isn't 6'9", because Joshua seemed a lot taller standing next to Usyk than Tyson. That was from Snipes1 LOL. Okay? That's one. And another, Alfred Apanachi. Usyk don't look small at all. There's two. Coming in from Scance Rants, is Fury really 6'9", or Usyk has to be taller than 6'3"? There's the third. And there's countless other comments concerning the noticeable non-distance, or difference, should I say, in the size and the height of these two fighters, as you guys can see. You know, and these went on as my latest video popped off about these two meeting face to face. So that should tell you a lot, okay? See, when people talk about size and height, that's one thing when these guys are apart. But when they get together, especially when throwing leather in those rings, as you can see, these guys, look at these guys. They don't look like David and Goliath. It looks like Goliath and Goliath's younger brother, right? And the seriousness of this all, I think this is a very good fight that should happen for undisputed, for undefeated. Like Floyd says, undefeated, never been defeated, right? So it should happen between skill versus skill. I think this would be a very good fight because if we learn anything about Tyson Fury, he knows how to throw those blows and those bows. And if you know anything about Usyk, he knows how to also throw those bows. Bars. So I think at the end of the day, this fight ain't what people thought it is. And people are slowly starting to change their mind about who they think could beat who based on size. Again, people should give size up. If we wanted to look at size as the overall dominant factor of a win, we should have had Joshua beating Andy Ruiz, right? As we all did. But that showed us that don't matter. Okay? Look at Joshua and Andy Ruiz, and that was a bigger height difference than Joshua and then Usyk. And Joshua was clearly taller than Usyk, just like Tyson Fury. But like Scance Rant said, shout out to him, well, someone has to be a certain height than they really claim to be. 6'9", maybe he's about 6'7". Maybe he once was 6'9", because people shrink as they get older, okay? You only sprout to a certain amount of height in your life, and then after that it's downhill due to vertebrae and joints and all that carrying on. But these guys definitely look like they belong in the same ring together. More importantly, belong in the same weight class together. Okay, so it was a great night of boxing between Lomachenko and Comey, but this outside interest sparked because the heavyweight division is becoming very interesting. Okay, so we still have Dillian White and Anthony Joshua that could come between these two fighters getting it on, but these guys look like they belong in the ring together. So I want people to dispatch with the perception that Tyson Fury's this big roaring bear, that he's just too big for a guy like Oleksandr Usyk, okay? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this equal appearance like height or the small distance in size between Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.